We're outside here taking a look at the facade of this home because picking the exterior selections for your home has got to be the most important part because it says everything about the style of your home, and it is very, very important to get all the colors right and all the materials.
As you said, Kayla, color is probably one of the most important, but guess what's even more important? The siding material we pick. We're going to delegate today everything about siding material, which is best, like this building behind us.
Yeah.
What if we would change some of the siding to something else? How would it look? Why don't you tell everybody which you think is going to be the best choices?
Absolutely. Okay. So I love all the different materials, and we're going to get into a lot of them today. Brick is a great one.
Brick is great. It's unique, it's timeless, and all the classic architectural styles, all of them have brick. Brick's wonderful.
It is wonderful. Depending on the color, can definitely go with the different types of architectural styles. So I like it. We'll keep it in mind.
Perfect.
Yes.
I like the stone better.
I like stone too.
Yes, and especially the stacked stone.
Stacked stones with no mortar. I love that look, and it goes really well with some shake siding too. So we have a lot of great options there.
Stone's the way to go.
I'm thinking about Dutch lap vinyl siding. It has a beveled edge, results in a shadow line, and it's very rigid. Or how about vinyl shake?
Shake is popular
It comes in a lot of different colors, makes the Craftsman style really pop. And also this red one, it matches my red wagon at home. I really like it.
Yeah, we're not going to pick that one, especially for this building. Doesn't go here, but it goes for other ones. I like maybe this color. Ooh, that's great.
Now, I like the vinyl clapboard, which is more mimicking what it would look like maybe over in the East Coast where you had the actual wood clapboards overlapping themselves. But what I'm really excited about is these products here. They look like wood, but they're actually metal.
Super cool.
Yeah, no maintenance with these, but man, from the road, looks exactly like wood.
I love it for the modern architecture. That is a perfect fit, and it goes really well with some stone. We have some cool colors.
Brick, Kayla, I love the timeless look of brick, but you can really dress up the front of your home when you use brick coin corners, soldier cores, a feather edge around your windows.
Yep, and everything you just listed is what we have on this building, so it makes it really unique and has a lot of character to it. That's a great option too. Izzy, what do you have?
So the color of the brick is something I think we really need to pay attention to. Make sure it's coordinating and not clashing.
Absolutely.
And then the weight of the materials is very important too. If we include something else, the mixing of the materials, we don't want to have too many material overload either. So we really have to make sure we have the right combination there.
For sure. We don't want to mix it up too much, but we're going to talk about all these principles here. So let's keep seeing what we want to do with this building. We have all these other samples. We really need to keep going here.
We'll get it going.
All right.
Welcome to Between the Studs. We are Granite Ridge Builders, custom builders serving northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and also parts of southern Michigan. We have been building custom homes for almost 2 decades, and we're really passionate about what we do. So join us today as we explore the processes, the trends, and also tips that characterize today's new home. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back. Today's show, as you can see, is all about siding material. And today, there are so many choices. There are so many styles, so many sizes. So we're going to try to explain some of those today for you.
We've talked a lot about how a front door can add value to your home. I mean, it could add $5,000, $10,000 value to your home. Think about how much what the material on the front of your house adds to your home. It's that first impression. It's the first thing people see, and it could literally add $50,000 in value to your home.
And the front of your home, what you do to it gives it personality, gives it character. We all have those homes we drive by and we love because they have so much character and personality.
Some of that's just feeling, isn't it?
Yes.
You just know when something's right, and we know it's not that visual chaos that some houses have. It's just the right house with the right materials.
And today people are really excited and really focusing in on architectural style. And it's siding that really helps to accent the architectural style of a new home.
Now, all of our clients come in asking our designers here, what siding should I do? What materials should I do? Why should I pick those on my house? Help me. And that's what we're here for because there are a lot of great options.
Now, nationally speaking, stucco is the most popular siding application. It's on 28% of the homes, but you don't see it around here very often due to the way we have to apply it, moisture, maintenance, but occasionally you'll be driving around town and you might see it on a Tudor style home.
Now, the second most popular has to be vinyl siding at 26%. Now, in our area, it's more like 90% because we have the sides and the backs of the houses that typically are all done in siding. So that one, there's so many different profiles, colors, styles, designs, and we're going to show more of that in today's show.
Now, coming in third at 21% is wood siding or fiber cement, which we see a lot of this on the front of homes here in Fort Wayne. This could be a clapboard, or today we're doing a lot of it in board and batten.
Then at 19% is brick. 19% of Americans have some form of brick on the front of their home. It might be a little more expensive, but it's timeless, and it also gives you this perception of strength. And when it comes to the story of the three little pigs, it was a brick house that the wolf could not blow down.
Surprisingly, only 4% of homes are using stone as their front material. And in our area, we definitely know that this is one that's been hugely on the rise with the rise of manufactured stone becoming more and more popular. This is just something that's really, really popular in our area now, but we're also using all types of siding with it, from board and batten to shake, along with those stone options.
That's why we have 4 decorators just dedicated to designing these homes the right way. Now, one thing is interesting, at Granite Ridge Builders, in order to design a great, fantastic front exterior elevation with the right mix of materials, we think the most important consideration is what we call art of application. Mm-hmm. And our decorators have been studying all these mixtures, including things like size, balance, weight, scale, and probably the most important, color. Now, what we're going to do later on in the show, we're going to talk a lot more about this art of application. You do not want to miss that segment.
You're going to keep hearing this over and over again. It's going to keep coming back to the word color. So we're going to be talking about how that works with all kinds of options with the exterior of your home.
Now, we talked in the last several shows that the front door color is the most important thing for the first impression, as well as your front entry stairway. But again, we're going to say that the entire exterior of your home, from the color standpoint, is very important to make sure you get right. And that's what we're here for and going to explain more today. So we have a few popular colors that are in today's trends.
There's the warm neutrals, such as Natural Bark by Behr Paints. Ooh. And then the creams and the white, so Alabaster by Sherwin-Williams. I know Granite Ridge Builders does a lot of that, along with White Dove by Benjamin Moore. And then, of course, the classic gray, a color by Benjamin Moore as well.
Popular still, it has been for a while and it continues to be, is black. People like that really dark, especially if they're doing more of a modern style, and also that dark charcoal gray.
Mm-hmm.
Black Forest Green by Benjamin Moore has been popular. The smoky green tones, and surprisingly to me, caviar.
Ooh.
I like to eat caviar.
Caviar by Sherwin-Williams is making a big popular.
I don't think you'd want to spread that all over your front. That's expensive. Yeah.
I think I just want to make up the names of the paint colors. That's what I want to do.
That's
true. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to try to break out 3 of those most popular sidings that we have. So we're going to work on the manufactured stone, not just stone, brick, and of course the classic vinyl. So why don't we go ahead and start those segments for everybody? How's that?
Okay.
Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss these.
Good.
Got me thinking
I
about
know. I know.
And we want a house. Yeah.
All right, Lonnie, my personal favorite when it comes to the exterior is brick. And here recently, stone has kind of edged brick as more of a popular opinion, but again, I like the traditional style that the brick brings, and it's starting to make a comeback, which I'm excited about.
It really is. And at Granite Ridge Builders, brick is probably one of the most popular options for people. It's pretty affordable. Usually it runs anywhere from about $20, $22 a square foot, a little less expensive than stone, and we're still using a lot of it. Like you said, it's making a comeback.
Right. Now, when it comes to brick, obviously we've got our different bonds, which are different patterns, but there's a lot of different terminologies and a lot of different ways we can lay this out. So we want to kind of break that down.
Let's talk about bonds.
So probably the most common bond that you see is the ones that we have examples in front of us here. It's called a running bond, and you can see how it kind of staggers the brick as it goes down. It, structurally speaking, is a very strong pattern. Now, where it gets kind of confusing, that's the most common one, but there is one that's called common bond. And the common bond is where we are mixing in the running bond, but then every 6th course, we actually add a row of header courses. So we actually turn the brick on its side and lay it so it kind of breaks up that monotony as you're going up the house.
Then there's also the stack bond, and we don't recommend that. That's where you basically just take one brick and lay it on the next. And structurally speaking, that doesn't work very well. Okay. And then there's also, Luke, the English bond. I don't understand that one. Help.
Yeah, it's very similar to the common bond where it alternates the running bond with then the header courses, but like the common was every 6th row, this does every other. So it does sometimes appear a little busy because you've got a lot of extra lines in there. Again, maybe not the most structurally sound pattern, but still a very, very common and popular one.
I'm glad we have pictures. If you want to see examples of many, many different bonds, go down to the St. Francis Performing Arts building
Yep, formerly the Scottish Rite.
Formerly the Scottish Rite. They've got all kinds of bonds going on, particularly on the back side of that building.
Yeah, make sure you walk all the way around.
And Luke, we briefly talked about mortar, which is a glue that holds everything together. And back behind us is a great example of mortar, different kinds of mortar with the same brick.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite walls here in our showroom because when we bring clients here and they look at this, they're just astonished by what they're seeing. So we actually have 2 different bricks here. We have this more red brick and then the white brick. But then there are 10 different mortars, 5 on each side. And you can see as your eyes glance down it, that 20% of mortar makes a huge difference in how that brick appears to you. So if you can imagine, this is a very small, imagine what that would do to the whole exterior of your front facade of a house.
Luke, when it comes to brick, the term that we use to apply it is we lay the brick. Why is that?
Correct. So we're literally laying it, and we're laying it on foundation. It's usually the foundation that's shared with the house. So we've got a solid foundation, and then we start laying in courses as we work up the house.
So a slab would be on the footer.
Yep.
And on the basement, it'd be actually on the basement wall.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, correct.
All right, so we've got this first brick. Where do we go from there?
Yeah, so they're laying it in the courses, as I've mentioned. Then they're putting the mortar joints in between, and you can possibly see it, but there's little holes inside the brick that mortar is getting pushed down into, giving it a solid bond.
Ties it all together.
Yes, between each course. And as they're working it up, they're using a trowel to put on the mortar. Then they take this tool joint here, and then they're running in here. You can actually see it's got a little half round to it. That makes it so water does not sit in between those courses.
And I know brick is strong, but what holds it to the house?
Correct. So the brick can support its own weight, but it's the further you go up, the more it wants to lean. So we got these wall ties here, these brick ties that we put in, and then it goes in between each mortar joint and then ties it to the house. But we have to make sure we maintain at least a ½ inch gap for any moisture to pass behind that brick and then weep out on our weep holes.
I noticed that. That's not a firecracker.
No, you don't want to light that. That's not a fuse. So those allow the water to pass through the backside of the brick and then weep out to the front and then evaporate.
A stud tip, don't cut those off. They do serve a purpose.
Right. And Lonnie, you also don't want to bring your landscaping or your mulch up above those because then it will work the opposite way and put too much moisture behind the brick.
Well, at Granite Ridge Builders, one of the most popular siding choices that we do on our homes is manufactured stone. When you drive through subdivisions, you're going to see a lot of this. Now, there is a difference between stone and manufactured stone, and today, mostly what you'll see around here is the manufactured stone, primarily because of cost. The real stone is more than double what this is.
And it's also very, very heavy. But our stone is also heavy because it's actually made of a concrete product, and then it's got color pigments all the way through it. And then they shape and form it, they put it in molds, and it comes out looking like stones and rocks.
And this is made locally here in Indiana.
A lot of it is, it really is, which is exciting. At Granite Ridge Builders, we offer a number of selections as it relates to stone. Come on up to our showroom, we'll show you some of those, including all the different mortars to choose from. That's also important.
That's correct, that is very important. You'll see behind us, there's a lot of different styles to choose from and colors, as well as in front of us. Some of the stones, though, you don't need mortar. That's very popular, especially on a fireplace setting where they just do a ledge stone and they need no mortar. So up here you can see a few different examples of styles of stone, and a lot of this is going to depend on the style of your home, as we've talked about previously. For example, in the middle here is field stone. You don't see as much of this when you drive through subdivisions here, but if you're in a lake setting, this could be a
lodge,
this could be a great application.
Also, there's a lot of different colors. We don't really show them here, but if you come to Granite Ridge Builders, we'll show you a lot of different colors as they relate to these manufactured stones.
This manufactured stone is a great complement to other things on the front of your home, whether it be wood siding, fiber cement, or your vinyl siding.
Right, as it relates to cost, it's comparable to brick. So it's a great product to use to support that architectural style that you're looking for.
And when it comes to your home, cost-wise, when you add some stone to the front of your house, it's just a few $1,000s depending how much you put up.
It's also unique how we hang manufactured stone on a house. Let's go take a look. You know, Elizabeth, stone is so popular. We've talked about that. And in an earlier segment, we talked about how we lay brick, but when it comes to stone on a home, we actually hang it.
We do hang it, and here is a great example of application of your stone on the home. This is our half house here at Granite Ridge Builders, because we love to educate you on how we do things and why we do things.
So we got the siding of the house, and behind the or over the OSB, we put this tar paper, and then comes a very important product called the wire mesh, and it's actually stapled on. And then probably the most important product is the scratch coat. It's like the Gorilla Glue that holds the stone on.
It is, and then they apply the stone to that, and it's amazing. They do this throughout the year, so summer, fall, winter, spring, they're able to hang the stone on
Pretty
the front
amazing.
of your home.
This stuff does not fall off. This stuff really, really, really works. And like we said, we can hang it as opposed to laying it on a foundation.
Tony, I'm always shocked when I open this up and see how many color options we really have with our vinyl siding.
And the interesting thing is we have all those color options, but then there's more color options on top of that. There's more profile styles. There's just so many things that is happening with vinyl siding, because right now I'm making a guess. I'm going to say close to 90% of all homes in the Midwest have vinyl siding on them in some way, shape, or form.
Right, and it was in 1950 when the vinyl siding was developed, and it was developed not too far from here in Columbus, Ohio, and they developed it to replace aluminum siding. Aluminum siding would last a lifetime, but it would start to get a little chalky, get some dings in it, and they decided that the color lasts, it doesn't ding, and it's going to last a lifetime. So what a perfect replacement for aluminum siding.
And it's made out of 80% PVC. So we're talking no maintenance on anything along these lines with this.
Right, now we've been talking about just vinyl siding very vaguely here, broadly I should say, but there are a lot of different profiles and terminology that comes with it. So let's break that down.
All right, the first one would be a clapboard siding. A horizontal siding with varying widths. Originally it was all wood. It's fabricated and installed so the boards look like they overlap and underneath each other.
Right, so it's meant to look like very historically what siding typically looked like.
Yes.
Now we've got Dutch lap, which is what we've got a couple examples here in front of us. And what's interesting about Dutch lap is it has this extra little bevel to it, which creates an additional shadow line, and it really gives the house a sharp look. And by the way, it's a little bit stronger than your clapboard because it's got that extra bevel, which creates a little bit more rigidity.
Next, let's go into that new embossed grain. This is one of the hottest profile styles going right now. It really truly looks like the wood.
Most of these products, as we've mentioned, they all still have one theme in common. They all have that embossed look or the shake look, all trying to mimic wood, which would have been what we would have used way back when we started building shelters.
So just to finish it all up, we talk about brick, we talk about stone. Vinyl is what can go with every one of those to make sure that you get a good balance in your home.
Well, as important as it's been to talk about the vinyl siding, the brick, the stone, what's even more important is talking about the correct way to place it on your home, which we call the art of application.
Yes, we've talked about it before. Material overload, it's a thing. And if you drive by a house, you can drive by a house and the art of application was done so well that you go, oh my gosh, I love that house. It's instantly, you can feel it. Or you can have the exact opposite feeling if it's not done correctly.
You absolutely can. So we have some tips here that our designers put together to help with how to guide that process in the right application. So one of them is going to be choosing two materials. You want to make sure you put the heaviest material on the bottom and the lighter material on top. So my example with that is going to be if you have a lighter siding color and you're thinking you want a darker accent color for the shake, make sure that's the color on the bottom and the lighter colors on top.
That makes sense. Also, if you have ornate materials, you want to use those in places for emphasis. You probably don't want to overuse the ornate materials.
Absolutely. Make sure color contrast is done correctly. So we're going to highlight certain parts of the elevation and not just blend absolutely everything, because then you just have a dark hole.
If you've got a small house or even just a smaller exterior, the front of the house, don't use a bunch of different material. Don't make it busy.
And depending on the scale of your home, pick the right material. So if you have a home that's not as wide, maybe you want to have the horizontal clapboard. If you have a house that is a little bit wider and you want to get height to it, then do the board and batten material, because you have the vertical accent to help make sure that your eye is giving you the right impression of your home.
And speaking of the flow, you don't want to use different types of material that interrupt that flow too. You want that to keep on going.
Absolutely. Now, we always talk about principles. Principles are very important, so keep these things in mind, and we've talked about them before, but we want to make sure that the scale of your materials is correct, your proportion. We want to make sure everything is balanced, you have similarity, and that there's continuity.
So we talk about that rhythm. When you're using siding, you want to create a pattern of some sort, and that really can help continue that rhythm going.
Yep, so we have a few examples we can talk about, and one of them is kind of what's laid out in front of us here, and all of these things go really well from a color standpoint, but depending on your elevation, where these materials go is very important. So another great example is one of the houses you can see here, our modern prairie house. We did a really great job with the heavier brick color on the bottom, the lighter metal siding color coordinating with that, and it all flows very well.
I also think one that has a great example of that continuity, using some contrasting material, but all of it that complements, is our model in Grayson Heights. I love the copper roof, I like the cedar stain, it all complements one another.
Absolutely. Another house we have here to show you is our rustic farmhouse. So again, we made sure that the colors blended, but we have the accent materials. So here at Granite Ridge, we are the experts to talk to you about the art of application to make sure the exterior of your home looks absolutely perfect.
Well, this segment is all about the details on the front of your home. And my dad always said the little details matter the most.
It's one of the big mistakes we're seeing right now is people not paying attention to the details on the front of their house. It can turn into something we call a material mix-up. And that's when we make the mistake of having your form of your house following a fad versus actual function for what we will look for the house. There's nothing wrong with trends. We love kind of being in style and following the trends that are going on right now, but when that supersedes what we're doing on the exterior of their home is when we lead to a mistake.
And you know, when you think about your new home, you want to choose a style. And a lot of people know what their style is, but then they come in and they like a lot of things, and that doesn't necessarily go with the style of their home. So you have to be very careful that you're not mixing the wrong things on the front of your home. For example, we do a lot of brackets, gable brackets. You want to make sure that this is the right look for your home. If you're doing a modern home, this probably isn't the best choice for that.
Exactly, and this is really, you're preaching to the choir. This is exactly what I went through with decorating my home, is that I really had so many different ideas. We see so many different types of beautiful styles of homes, but you have to make sure that you're actually locking in on one, even when we're considering eclectic. Eclectic is taking lots of different styles, but one will still be predominant, and we want to make sure that we're not just going all over the place where it ends up looking like a mess.
Another benefit with Granite Ridge Builders is we have everything right here when you meet with your decorator, so it makes it a lot easier to pull this together because you're doing it in one place at one time.
It makes it a lot easier to make sure that we avoid a material mix-up and instead create a material masterpiece.
Well, as a designer, one of the most important things to me is architectural styles. I love to be able to take materials and pinpoint them to a style to be able to create a wonderful exterior for your home.
It's so much fun when we're meeting with clients and they can bring us in the pictures and they can show us what their dream homes are. We can put the architectural style to it, and then we can design the perfect home. And one of those big things is going through all the styles so that we can do that with you. So let's go through about a dozen of them right now.
Absolutely. We're going to start with the Georgian style. The Georgian style typically is a standard reddish brown brick style, and it has a running bond, also usually seen with the horizontal clapboard siding.
Now, prairie style, also the first American style really with Frank Lloyd Wright. This is a thin 12-inch wide Roman brick siding with more of an earthy colors like the Roby House in Chicago. Also concrete siding and stone siding just like in the Falling Waters exterior.
Now the Tudor style is very specific. You can definitely tell this style with the stucco, half timber siding, usually with stone or brick. And another variation of this is also called the fantasy style, storybook style. You'll identify this in some of the Disney stories that you've heard.
Now the Cape Cod style, simple wood, vinyl, horizontal clapboard siding. Sometimes they throw a little bit of shake in there.
International style is really cool. We have just a few in the Fort Wayne area, white stucco, concrete, steel, with a lot of glass siding.
Something that I'm seeing a lot of now and I'm having a lot of people ask about is that modern prairie ranch. They like that stack stone, the vertical board and batten, the smooth metal siding, dark colors, some orange accent colors, just like our model we did in Tullamore.
Now the modern farmhouse style is a great one here, with still a very popular trend. You have stone, white board and batten siding, of course, and black windows.
Craftsman style. Been in style for years, not gonna go away. Everybody loves this style. It's got that brick and the quarry stone siding combined with that wood clapboard. A lot of wood accents on the exterior of those.
Now let's throw it back a little bit in time and go Victorian Queen Anne style. I've always loved this one. You have wood shingles and clapboard siding, big front porches. This is a really fun one.
Richardson Romanesque. This is a style that we go back to over and over again. This is such a unique place. It's got the rustic ashlar block stone siding, just as seen as they do in the Bass Mansion out there off the St. Francis campus.
As you can see, architectural styles when it comes to the exterior materials are absolutely very important. Come into Granite Ridge Builders. We can show you all of them here at our showroom.
Okay guys, we got to close. I hope the audience found this interesting. I know we did while we were studying some of these materials. One thing I want to bring up, that we are always perfecting this art of material and the mix of material, what we're using. And I'm still really, really excited about our modern homes. We've been picking up this metal siding and it is looking so good on a lot of our houses, but I know you guys have a lot too. So what do you want to remind our audience what they should take out from this show?
Well, most of the time women don't want to talk about weight, but in this case, I like that that's something we talk about, the weight of materials and how that's going to look balanced on your house.
Well, and color is so important. And if you've ever picked out a paint color, you probably have been disappointed at some point because it looks a lot different when you put it up. And it's great here at Granite Ridge Builders. We have 4 decorators that are going to help you pick the perfect color for the front of your home.
And our designers here are really proud that we educate ourselves on the correct art of application for your home so we can guide you in the best way possible.
And what I always find fascinating is the mortar. I know sometimes it gets overlooked, but whether you're doing stone or brick, mortar is about 20% of what you see. And depending on the mortar color you pick, it can really accentuate different colors within the brick.
Right, and that's why we have to talk about mortar, because it can make an extreme difference between the same brick on a house with a different mortar.
The interesting thing is also that material overload that we've been talking about. Having too much on the house, sometimes you can save money by doing a little bit less and make the house look a lot better.
And again, that material mix-up, just doing the wrong ones in the wrong places, we're trying to avoid all that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey Kayla, time's running out. Would you close for us?
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining us today. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please pick up the phone and give us a call. Visit our website, or even better yet, come into our showroom. We'd love to talk to you all about the art of application on siding.
Okay,
Art of application sounds like ninja movie.
Picking the exterior facade is the most important. Oh, sorry. Okay. I got it. Got it. Sorry.
We'll do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I needed to fix my mic cord. Hold on, my mic cord's coming out. I was trying to be discreet.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Problems on the set.
I'm a red
I don't know if Lonnie and Charity are going to make it through
I
this.
know, I don't know.
Lonnie's fault.
And I hate to say it to you, but we need to watch our weight. We need to watch that we don't have too much mixing of materials, that they're laid out the right way.
Watch my weight or the weight of the home? Which
Please,
one are we
yes,
watching?
let me clarify. Please let me clarify.
We were doing so well.
Jesse, don't go there. Don't go there.
Well, we got our blooper mix.
Sorry. Well, this segment is all about the details on the front of your home. And my dad always said the detail. What do you say? The little details matter the most.
I forget. What did my dad always say?
People drive by and say, "What a beautiful home."
Instead of, God bless this mess.
Oh, it had so much potential.